Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is, since we're all new with playing with each other here, so here's a disclaimer. Song of Ice and Fire is a complex narrative where bad things happen to good people. As a GM, I reserve the right to play within the style and tone of the novels. Perils that might befall your characters are done not out of a willingness to defeat the players, but instead help create a story that will expand upon our universe that we are creating with the works of George R. R. Martin. Please know that I respect my players, and I'm very thankful for everyone that takes time out of their busy lives to help me play this game and create our stories. If one of your character experiences the horrors of A Song of Ice and Fire firsthand, please know that I do it out of admiration for you as a player, and I believe you can handle it as an adult and have for the good of the story. As GM, I will try to be fair and will never bend the rules for my benefit. That being said, I do not want to spend all session with my head in the book, and so if we have a rules dispute, I will rule for the session and we can look it up later. I want to keep our games as fast-paced and fun as possible, but still allow for roleplay between characters and with our story. Okay, so just in case, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, let's get started then. So, introduction. The year is 194 AC. 10 years ago, King Aegon IV died and changed the Seven Kingdoms forever as he legitimized all his bastards. Since that time, turmoil and distrust have reigned just as much as Aegon's true-born son, Daeron II, known as the Good. Daeron is a weak-willed and soft man, while Aeron's chief bastard and the man to wield Targaryen's ancestral blade of Blackfire is Daemon Waters. Sir Daemon is, above all things, a renowned warrior. Throughout the kingdoms, that might be enough to sway opinions on legitimacy and right to rule. But even more so, Daemon was gifted with Blackfire, long the blade of the Targaryen kings, which Aegon the Conqueror had used to slay his foes when he took Westeros for his own. With the great houses of Westeros taking sides, it is only a matter of time before blood would be spilled. Lord Reginald, Jerrod's father, had taken confidence with his brother, the famous House Reyne. For weeks they met and discussed until finally Jerrod was told of their intent to back Lord Daemon against the crown. It was a risky play, but one that might see them elevated above House Lannister and give Lord Reginald and following Jerrod the title of Warden of the West and Lord Paramount of the Westerlands. Eventually, you would bring your swords to bear against House Targaryen and King Daeron II. For now, it was the dirty work. For months, you are told, Bittersteel and his companions had been in the Riverlands asking for support, quietly, of course. One of King Aegon's great bastards was a man known as Arryn Weathers, formerly Arryn Rivers, who had taken his mother's name after the king legitimized all his children, much as Daemon had taken the name Blackfire. Bittersteel left without the support he needed, and so, through various back channels you cannot even imagine, the task was laying at your feet. Go to the Riverlands and convince Arryn Weathers to side with his half-brother Daemon instead of the king. Okay? So now I would like you all to go ahead. We can just do, let's start with the heir first. And maybe let's talk about your backgrounds, who you are, and what's publicly known about you, that sort of thing. So go ahead, Jerrod.
All right. So Jerrod Reyne is a pretty typical noble. You know, he likes to, he enjoys his position in kind of being higher up, and he also takes advantage of his good looks and sharp tongue. For his background, I imagine as a pretty typical, he is raised to that his duty as not the direct heir, but as a secondary heir to help solidify his family's position in Westeros. So being fully behind his father in backing up this probably necessary gamble to increase his family's position in Westeros. And he's pretty much willing to do. I like to think he's a decent person, but he does know that sometimes you will have to do things that are less than noble to achieve your goals. Although, since he is a noble, he's usually not the one who has to do it directly.
Okay. Michael.
His true name is Sir Michael of Fairmarket. He's pretty much what you'd expect out of a knight, very honorable, very by the book in the way how everything's played out. But he's also someone who's been around Westeros to know that even knights have to know how to play the game a little bit. While he'll never approach the going against his honor, he will, do what he can to survive, because you can just as easily get a verbal knife in your back as getting a physical one. So he's spent most of his life trying to become a knight to increase his family's repute and trying to just establish himself and hopefully show that even a nobody can change their stars and become a somebody, and they don't have to do it by stabbing everybody in the back and lying and cheating.
Okay. Garrett?
Jerrod is a bastard from the Westerlands. He, as a child, never knew his parents and was raised by his grandparents. He also fell woods and tracking and stuff like that at a young age. He came to knowing House Reyne, a rather predicament that was he and Rob Reyne met in the Kingswood. Fought a bunch of bandits. They survived, and that's how he knows House Reyne, and that's how he's the master of the hunt there. So yeah, that's pretty much his backstory.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and one second. All right, let me. Now I can read it. The meeting was set at Pinkmaiden under the protection of House Piper. Aaron Weathers and his men would be there to discuss the possibility of backing Daemon Blackfyre. Arion, after this, would know where House Reyne's support lie. It was important not only for Daemon Blackfyre's chance to become king, but perhaps the entire survival of House Reyne. The days had been wet since you passed Golden Tooth on the river road and turned east onto the smaller trails and roads towards Pinkmaiden, which stood next to the Red Fork. You've come with not great force, but banners of your house, only the three of you in silence and obscurity and disguise. After a solid week of travel, you see the castle in the distance. It was unimpressive for someone hailing from Castamere in the Westerlands. It was smaller by 10 times to Casterly Rock and 8 times from Castamere. The curtain wall was short and thin, with only a few guards posted outside. This place would fall easily once the war started. The gate was open and inviting as small folk passed to and fro under the watchful gaze of the castle garrison. So go ahead and roleplay what you're going to do.
Do you know anything of the Pipers, Sir Michael?
I can't really say I do. They're not really from around where I grew up.
Well, it should be easy enough to be in a good position with them, seeing as they are lacking on the martial front.
Yes, I noticed that coming in. Their defenses look a little for wanting, for a lack of better word.
And you, Garrett, what do you think?
Are you asking him about the Pipers or just in general?
In general, I think you would know that you would have no idea.
Okay, that's what I was kind of figuring. I think it's a piss poor situation, is what I think. They don't seem very intuitive on their defenses.
So as you talk, you get closer to the gates, and being on your horses and having arms, clearly, the guard steps forward, and he has a halberd in his hand, and he kind of lays the halberd across the entryway past the small curtain wall, and he gives the old "who goes there?"
Oh, wait.
I kind of ride forward because it's my duty to introduce my lord. This is... I'm sorry, your character name just slipped past me.
Jerrod.
Jerrod. This is Lord Jerrod Reyne of House Reyne. We came to speak with your lord on important matters.
The guard looks at you and looks at everyone behind you, and he looks somewhat surprised. He's like, "House Reyne, that's far away from here." He seems kind of shocked that you're here.
Be that as it may, we still need to speak with your lord.
My father, Lord Reginald, always said that the Pipers were good friends to the Reynes, and we hope to indulge in his hospitality.
So the guard kind of gives a shrug, not knowing if that is true or false. Clearly just a man-at-arms here at the castle. And he turns and talks to another man who departs for some while, leaving you standing at the gate waiting. What do you do?
So the gate's open?
The gate is completely open, but he has his house. He's standing. He's not letting you in.
Oh.
He's blocking your path.
Good sir, what is the meaning of this delay? I see small folk passing through here quite easily.
He looks up at you on your fancy horse and he says, "Most small folk don't carry weapons either. You could be an enemy of my lord. I don't know this." He
Most
shrugs,
small folk also can't be held for ransom.
and the guy chuckles and he's like, "I've sent word to my lord. He will send someone back telling me if you are to be allowed inside or not."
In the meantime, I'm kind of eyeing everybody just to kind of do the standard kind of bodyguard thing, making sure that nobody gets too close.
I'm only trying to slightly hide my annoyance at having made to wait.
Okay. So you wait for not that long, but for a while, probably half an hour, and someone comes down and comes back from the keep and nods to the guard with the halberd that has delayed your entrance, and he finally nods and he's like, "He'll take you to the castle." And he steps out of your way and lets you pass. As you head through inside the curtain wall, you notice there's a small courtyard and various small folk walking in the courtyard, but no men or women of note that you can see. These people are, they look like they're picking apples off an apple tree that's in the courtyard and other domestic type of duties that has been set for them to do. As you reach the castle, which is, as I was mentioning, really small, you are unimpressed with the state of repair of the castle in its entirety, actually. You notice that there's damage to the walls from something, probably some conflict long ago that was never repaired properly. And the gate has been pulled open, and inside you notice that the tapestries are tattered and old, and especially from the very wealthy Westerlands, which is not that far from Pinkmaiden, as you see your map that I handed out earlier. It still does not look all that impressive, even for your lowest of lords in the Westerlands. And you wonder why this was set as a meeting point. Any reactions?
Garrett would probably just note the state of the castle and grounds, and make that a mental note for the lack of can't think of the word I'm trying to use.
Wealth, something like that.
Yeah, well, not wealth, but
yeah, I heard
the lack of caring.
Gotcha.
Michael's a fairly well-traveled hedge knight, so it's not a surprise to see kind of a podunk cat, so to speak. But all the same, he's kind of internally thinking, we really want the help from these guys, or is it really going to come to this? But otherwise, he's remaining silent. But he's definitely got that look of skepticism of all of this.
Yeah, Jerrod at this point would be, he's glad that we're here to meet someone else, because the Pipers don't seem like they would be a family really worth courting.
Okay. So down a short hall you walk past various baubles and tapestries, which don't look very impressive to you, obviously, into a small grand hall that with a single step dais, and sitting on the main chair there is a elderly man, looking like this guy. What you know about House Piper is that, why don't you roll knowledge, each of you? Knowledge, education, or research would be fine.
All right.
Okay.
Oops, sorry, didn't mean to roll that twice.
No, it's fine. So those who rolled above a 9 know that Lord Rickard Piper is a infirm man, as you can see. That's quite clear because he looks lame because he only has one leg. Basically, he's infirm. His leg has been shaved off past the knee from an old wound that got diseased. You know that Lord Rickard has 5 bastards, and so his distant brother, now living somewhere in the Reach, would inherit his lands. Rickard is eager to avoid this, and has thrown his lot in with Daemon in order to have his bastard sons legitimized. Apparently, King Darion refused to do so. So he is sitting up in his chair, and next to him is a very large individual. Probably in the 6'2", 6'3" range, very virile and athletic appearing. Not so handsome though, as you can see. Both with blackish hair, and Lord Rickard waves you forward and says in a somewhat feeble voice, "Welcome. I expected you later than this. You traveled quickly. This is good. I am Lord...
sorry.
No, fine. I am Lord Rickard Piper, and this is my son Lou Rivers, soon to be Piper. Ha!
We are grateful for your hospitality, my lord. You seem to have a fine young son who will soon inherit your lands, thanks to the graces of the true king."
Lord Rickard nods, and he's like, "Have the girl bring bread and salt right away." And so a servant girl brings a loaf of bread and a bowl of salt, which is the ritual to basically for the ritual of hospitality for going in someone's keep, essentially a religious rite saying that the Lord won't attack you and you won't attack the Lord. So he offers you the bread and salt.
I take it.
Yeah, I take it too, just out of custom.
Yep, same here.
So you each eat the bread and salt, and after you do, Rickard and Lou do as well. And he smiles and nods, and he asks, "How was your trip into the Riverlands?" He's like, "Not so far from the Westerlands here, are we?"
Not too far, but I'm certainly glad to be off a horse and being able to have a decent bed to sleep in.
So Lord Rickard asks, he's like, "I just wonder, did you see anyone coming in, anyone watching, or I just don't want the king to find out about this meeting?"
Sir Michael, Garrett, did you perchance see anyone who seemed off?
Would I be able to roll, or would this be just a role play? Like, just say, "Nah, he didn't really notice anything."
You could roll.
Okay.
Awareness notice is what you would roll.
All right.
Yeah, you all can roll it.
Oh.
How do you specifically roll for notice?
If you have the specialty,
You have to have that bonus die.
Yeah, if you have the
okay.
specialty, you can.
Alrighty.
So, Garrett does remember that there were a couple small folk that seemed to be taking an interest in them. Now, that could be because you were men on horses being barred entry for close to half an hour. At the time, that's what you kind of assumed it was, right? Small folk are scared of the nobles, and particularly with anybody with a sword. And so it could be that, or it could be they had some other sort of interest. But Lord Rickard definitely seems a bit paranoid. So what do you tell him?
Were you asking us
Garrett,
all, or just
Garrett's
just me? Okay.
Garrett's the only one that knows this information.
Okay. I don't tell him a whole lot. Like I would tell him that I noticed the small folk, but it's be for the theatrics at the gate. Other than that, it doesn't seem like a whole lot of noticing.
So Rickard strokes his chin whiskers and looks to the side. He's like, I am very nervous about this meeting, I have to say. He's like, I want to make sure that you are not going to tell anybody else about this meeting. I mean, if you tell anyone, it could be a whore or a barkeep that you were in Pinkmaiden. It could all cost us our lives.
I can assure you, Lord Rickard, that as far as I know, the only ones who know this are me, my father, and my traveling companions. And perhaps my older brother, but he has as much to gain from this as your own son does.
And on my honor as a knight, I will speak to anyone without giving previous permission by Lord Reyne or you, of course, Lord Rickard.
Okay.
Garrett just... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. That's fine.
Garrett just says something along the lines of he likes his head and likes it where it's sitting right now.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an intrigue. So I kind of can do intrigues a little differently just to save time. I don't do a lot of full intrigues because they're as long as combats typically. So what we'll do is we're going to do a intrigue where you attempt to convince Lord Rickard that you're not going to shoot off your mouths. Essentially, you need a number of successes, which I keep to myself, and you'll have 3 rounds to do it. Jerrod can go first. You can roll any type of persuasion or deception that you want, just so long as the role play matches that roll. So you go ahead and give me some role play, or you just did, right? You just told him on your honor, right? I think that, to me, that's could be a charm or convince, probably. So you can roll. You guys can each roll based on what you just did.
Do you think mine was a charm or convince?
I think yours was probably a convince, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, crap.
15. Let me open this guy's sheet.
I can actually
You can
re-roll
ones. Yep. So you
to
can
2.
re-roll 2 of those. So roll 2d6 and we'll figure out if it's better than a 3. Nope.
Rip.
So you got 15. That's still pretty good. Okay.
16.
16. Charismatic, right? Is that why?
No, because I got
Oh,
one
you
of the
keep.
one of the
Oh,
ones.
you keep 4. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So 16. Okay. What did I say? All right. Who's next?
I'll do mine.
I guess I'll
Oh, go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
You guys can both roll. It's fine. Just.
Oh, that went a lot better than I was expecting.
I think Intimidate's going to help here, so I'll just roll normal persuasion. Yeah, go me.
Okay, the paranoid Rickard looks at Jerrod, and he's like, I believe you, but these other two, I don't know who they are. Small folk are easy to convince when you take a knife to their belly. And he looks at Lou, and Lou looks back at his father, but doesn't say anything.
Can I roll an empathy to kind of get a feeling for Lou? Like, what's he thinking of his dad and us at this point?
Sure. So as far as you can, by facial expressions, it's somewhat difficult. It looks like that he could share his father's nervousness, but maybe not quite as much. But at the same time, he is going to probably defer to his father, since he's just a bastard, and all this is riding, his future is riding on this meeting, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So you guys can go ahead and try to convince him some more. You have 2 more rounds to do it.
Oh, okay. I'll say, I can understand your caution, Lord Rickard, but there's a reason my father sent Sir Michael and Jerrod along with me. It's because they know enough to not speak to anyone of our plans and designs. He would not have sent them if he didn't know that they would be able to keep their silence long enough for our plans to come to fruition.
Sounds like convinced to me.
Yeah.
Reroll the. Wait. Yeah, 3d6.
God,
Nice.
I'm really glad I have that ability now.
Yeah. You got to be good looking. You get 1 more too. You get to reroll 3 of those.
All 3 ones.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you have. It's not just what you keep. It's any of them. So.
Oh.
Oh,
All right.
still
well,
not bad.
Yeah. So.
That's statistical.
So let's see. That's 15. 17. Okay. What about the other 2?
So do we
ahead.
we have to participate in this? We can't just let him talk for us.
We can let him persuade us all out of this.
Well, there's no in this intrigue. There is no reason why you should not.
Yeah.
And sometimes there might be in longer intrigues, or if I do them a little differently. Like in some of the other games, I'll say, well, if 3 of you go, then that's gonna multiply the amount of successes you need, or something like that. That's not how this is.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to role play and not to roll.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to roll Intimidate, but I'll role play it first. And I just kind of look him dead in the eye, like, Sir, I am a knight first, an anointed knight, and I will have you remember that. When I say something's on my word, I mean it. Do not challenge me again on this, sir, or I will be forced to claim my honor.
Oh, golly.
It's a good roll. So as you say that, Lord Piper kind of shrinks back in his chair, while Lou kind of steps forward, not exactly liking your tone, but he doesn't say anything, and he's unarmed. Garrett?
Garrett, after that show, tries to cool the mood down, and he says, "My lord, stuff at stake here. My life, my everything that I know and love is at stake. So, I ask, why would I risk all that just for nothing? I guess." Probably persuasion, I guess, though.
Yeah, I could see that being probably any of the convince. That sounds like convince, or maybe charm. Okay. So, to Garrett, he kind of shakes his head, and he's now sweating like profusely. Like he just ran, 10 miles, and he's like, I don't want my last days to be in the black cells. And he just like shakes his head and he's like, maybe we made a mistake, Lou. Maybe we made a mistake. So you have one more round. How are you going to
God. So I'm guessing it's obviously a 12, so I have to get a perfect roll. Garrett again tries to talk some sense into him, and like, my lord, I also face the same consequences as you. I don't see what I would gain from. That's true consequence. Well, I don't see what I would gain from throwing you under the bus, and I wouldn't gain anything from it other than me also dying as well. So if I did not burn a destiny point, but use a destiny point, what would it do for me?
You would get a bonus die.
Okay.
You might be able to do something like lower his intrigue defense too. Let me see if that's possible real quick. Which probably would behoove you to do. Spending effects. Since we're doing a quick intrigue, and there's no disposition, I would let you lower his. I would either let you lower his disposition by 2 to everyone, or by 4 to you.
I'll do it by 4 to me.
I'm sorry, not disposition, but his intrigue defense.
His intrigue, yeah. I'll do it by 4 to me.
Okay. So make sure you mark off your DP, because.
Yep. All right.
So you, and he's like, yes, that makes sense, but there's always people turning their cloaks. What does Jerrod and Michael say?
My lord, Rickard, I know how dangerous this all seems, but do you want to relegate your house, your keep? Everything you have will not truly be in your family line, and when you pass away, it'll go to your brother. This is your chance not only to elevate House Piper to a truly respectable family, but also to give your son Lou the chance he deserves to be a lord on his own right. This is what's best for your house and for all of Westeros.
Okay. Convince or charm would be fine for either.
Holy crap.
And you get to re-roll one.
I will re-roll that one. Maybe I'll get a 6, who knows?
Right.
No change.
Okay. So that is... Okay. The last roll. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, God. I'm just going to have to keep rolling persuasion.
Yeah, I'd be careful with that intimidate.
Oh, I wasn't going to use it again. That was because he personally encroached on his honor, so he had to. But
do you have furious or threatening or something like that too?
no.
Okay.
Intimidate is the only special conversation skill I have.
Yeah, it is a ability that makes you use intimidate only, intrigues, but I don't think you have it. I was just curious.
I'm honor bound.
Okay.
So I reroll 6s on deception, so I better not use my 1 in deception.
Yeah.
Let me just go. Lord Rickard, we all have much to lose in this. I've been a knight now for only a short while, and I dare not want to lose it. Being cast down by the Targaryen family. I've worked too hard and too long to get to this position. I truly want what's best for all our families.
All right. So Rickard is like rubbing his face, and he's like, okay. I'm sorry, this is just stressful. And I was worried. I worry about my lands and my sons. They deserve more than to be kicked out into the wilds of Westeros without a home. That is why I do this. And so it appears you've calmed Lord Rickard down. And thank God for that 23. So, yeah. So Rickard leans back and he's like, I will have someone make your rooms up. The other party that wished to meet with you is not yet here. They're scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Very good, Malloy. Is there anything we can do for you in the meanwhile?
Yeah, you can. What would you like to do? There is so essentially there's a keep. There's not a market or anything like a large town. There's from when you came in, you saw essentially some homes like on the outside of the curtain wall on the other side of the river. So there's buildings out there. So as far as a town goes, that's about what you would expect. But you're talking about mostly lean-tos and small shacks and that sort of thing, homes of the small folk that probably are either the lowest of the servants or not actually servants in the keep. You're given free reign of the keep itself, for the most part, except the Lord Solar and other personal places in the keep. There's not a ton to do here, obviously, but if you have some sort of idea, I would be happy to entertain it. Is there something specific you were looking to do?
I don't have anything specific to do, at least not what Garrett wouldn't, at least.
Sorry, put me on hold. I don't really have any ideas beyond, like, I was thinking we could try figuring out if there's, like, anyone who looks suspicious around, but I figured that might look more suspicious if we're wandering around and killing people.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, you don't see anything. Because I mean, even so let's say you basically are shown your rooms, that sort of thing. You're given food and free reign of the castle. You really don't know this place well enough to know who might be suspicious or not, right? They're all strangers to you, so it's kind of impossible to tell.
Well, then it might almost be better if we keep our heads low until Lamar gets here.
I pretty much am always on
guard.
Jerrod's hip. I'm a knight and I'm his knight, so I'm pretty much wherever he goes, I go. So long as immediately keep him outside like a brothel or something.
Yeah, if there's anything you want to do, like go. I mean, you can get. Well, let's wait until Nick gets back before I. But essentially, if there's anything you want to do, like brothel, tavern type of thing, you can go and do that if you desire.
I mean, Garrett is. You mentioned tavern.
That's true. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want to try not to go to the tavern?
I mean, yeah, but I'd have to roll.
Yep. It's
whatchamacallit?
I think it's dedication, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it was will.
Yeah, will is part of dedication. It's the special.
Okay, then yeah.
But
wow, I actually put a lot of will in this character. That's a smart idea.
He's
I don't know if that's enough, though.
Functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna have to look up the.
Plus, now I have this lucky trait, and that says I can reroll one. Is that a test of anything, or?
It's a test of anything. So once per session, basically.
All right.
But I don't know that you need to do that on this. But
I didn't think so.
Or I don't know if you really want to.
I just realized my character's literally like 30 or 40 miles away from where he lives, so I should know about this place, but I still rolled a 7. Because Fair Market's like just down the road.
Yeah, just a little bit out the side there.
Yeah, Fair Market.
It's that.
What you do know, and I'll let you know. There is something you would know of living in Fair Market because it's actually very close to where House Weathers is. So once Nick is back, I'll let you know. You've probably already told them this beforehand. You might be back, I guess. Yeah, so you have to beat a formidable will test, which is 12. So you did it. Not to booze.
Nice.
So you stay away from the tavern. And you get...
Fantastic.
You get the DTs, and you start shaking.
I thought it wouldn't be that difficult not to just start immediately using deception, but I was already tempted to want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, it can work. It definitely can work. I tell you, the slowest thing about setting up a game is inputting stuff into the character sheets from other character sheets that you have, right? So using an Excel sheet is how I build everything, and then I'm like, oh man, I got to input this all into Roll20. That's literally the time sink of it all.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Is that they wouldn't have like an import function on Roll20?
Yeah, something, I don't know, but they don't. I mean, so it's like literally once you get it done, like, and then you do your XP spending and stuff, that's easy. But
yeah.
But like the initial one is like, oh man, this sucks.
When we'll do all of our XP spending on the spreadsheet and then just send it to you, or we'll be just doing it in our Roll20 sheet, or anything?
You can just do it in your Roll20 sheet and just tell me what you did, and then I'll keep track of it in the background.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. So what I was going to say, what Chris had realized is Michael is actually from Fair Market, and Fairmarket is just down the road or down the Blue Fork from where House Weathers is. So House Weathers, and he would have told you this when you knew you were meeting Arian from House Weathers. House Weathers is a house that about 50 years ago rebuilt Old Stones. And Old Stones is north of Fairmarket, a couple days ride, less than that via the Blue Fork. And so that is where House Weathers is. It's in the Riverlands, and he tells you about that. He doesn't really know much about the royal family or anything. He knows what you know, right? Arian Weathers was a great bastard. His mother was a Weathers. He took the Weathers name once. Aegon Targaryen legitimized all his kids. Okay? So basically that's what you know of House Weathers. But that was a good point. So yeah. So while you were gone, Garrett rolled to make sure he didn't go drink because he's got bound to the bottle. So he doesn't need to go get drunk.
Yay.
So yeah, if there's anything you want to do, if not, we can move on. I know there's not a ton to do at this location, so.
Oh, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's just probably best for us to just lay low.
Okay. So you're treated to a small but pleasant feast. It's better than road food, and it's not bad. I'm not going to go and describe the dinners like George R. R. Martin would, but simple poultry, roasted probably chickens or turkey or something like that with apples and cheese and that sort of thing. And so you're treated well, and eventually you go to bed. You're each given a separate room. There are guards that walk back and forth. So what is Sir Michael going to do? Is he going to go to bed, or is he going to stand vigil outside Jerrod's room the entire time, or what?
He's going to go to bed actually a little bit earlier than everybody else does. So, like a couple hours, just so he can get a little bit of rest before he basically does stand vigil outside of Jerrod's room all night. Because again, he's his knight, so he's going to follow him around like you would think.
Let's roll endurance stamina, and since you get some rest, I'll not make it so difficult.
Oh, golly.
Okay, so you get a couple hours sleep right after dinner while Jerrod and Garrett are talking to various people, Lord Rickard in particular, and you stand out there pacing the halls all night. The guards kind of look at you and tell you, we're fine. We'll, you don't have to do this, but you obviously stand out there, and you do it without a problem. So if you want to describe that, you can.
It's pretty simple. I mean, he literally just, walks up and down the halls, does standard patrol, but while the guards are kind of sleepy and, just kind of lackadaisically doing it, he's actually, always kind of watching and not trusting, especially with how decrepit this castle is. He just doesn't trust, the stones themselves.
Okay. Very good. So the next day comes, and you're treated with breakfast once again, or a meal once again. And eventually, further in the day, there's a bit of a commotion, and a guard comes and comes to Lord Rickard and tells him that his other guests have arrived. So he nods and brings out the bread and salt, and coming up the hallway, you're all standing in his grand hall, which is very small and laughable to be called that, but him and Lou are there again, and a couple other men that you don't know who are, probably his younger sons. From their look, they have a similar look to Lord Rickard and Lou. So, 1 second. So coming up the hallway, you see a man that looks like a Targaryen. He has platinum hair and purple eyes. He walks with grace but continues to look around the room, likely as nervous as everyone else. All your fates will be decided here today. And he bows to Lord Rickard and says, I am Sir Arian Weathers. And with him are two other guys that look like probably something akin to what has come with Jerrod, right? His men-at-arms. Whoops. And so they kind of just hang back in the background. If I could ever grab this damn token. Okay. And so Aaron looks at Lord Rickard and introduces himself, and Lord Rickard gives his pleasantries, and he's like, and these are the men from House Reyne. Let me introduce you. This is Jerrod Reyne, the heir of House Reyne. And Sir Aaron looks towards you and nods and extends a hand.
I shake it and then give a slight bow.
And he goes on to introduce Sir Michael and Garrett, which everybody gives each other kind of a cordial nod type of thing. And so Sir Aaron looks at there's a table underneath the dais, and he's like, should we sit and talk?
Yes, I believe it is I mean, if you are you sure you don't need any rest after your travel?
Aaron shakes his head. He's like, we should be about this quickly. We shouldn't stay here all in one place too long, regardless of what is decided.
Agreed. That is a pertinent decision.
So Aaron sits at the table and takes a helping of fruit that has been sat there, and looks up to Jerrod and says, so you're here to convince me for the Blackfire, are you not?
That is correct, my lord.
And he's like, I have heard things from the king as well. He has since sent Prince Ares to my mother's keep. So why should I join the Blackfire instead of the king? He's like, looks at you, and he kind of sidelong says, I can see why you would do this. The Lannisters will certainly stay with the Targaryens. If Blackfire wins, you take their place. What do I get? And so we're going to run an intrigue now. Similar to the intrigue as last time, you have 3 rounds to convince Aaron to join Sir Daemon.
Okay.
All right.
Well, could I do a quick empathy to see, like, is there any way for me to kind of tell, or any other kind of check I could do to see if I know what he might be interested in gaining?
There, you can use your roll. So if you look at your intrigues, it might work just a little differently, because I think it actually does something with dispositions. But one second. So if we do an intrigue, you can do, if you look at the maneuvers section of this, so it'd be read target, right? Okay, so this basically is the mechanical version of that. So if you read target, you're going to make an awareness test against his passive deception. If you beat it, you get a +1d to your persuasion or deceptions for the rest of this intrigue. But that takes your turn for this first round.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So it's up to you. You can definitely do it.
Yeah, Jervis start off with saying that you're in a position that not many others have. You stand to gain more. You and your family stand to gain more from this war than many others do. Not only when Blackfire wins, will he be grateful to my family, but I'm certain he'll be grateful to yours. And who do you think is going to win in an actual war? A true dragon, or the weak man that sits on the throne currently?
All right, go ahead and so I'm assuming you're convincing instead of.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that sounds like I could go with charm or convince on that one.
All right.
18. Okay. All right. And so Aaron nods and he's like, "You have a point." He's like, "But there are men that will be fighting this battle for Darren, Bloodraven, and Baelor." He's like, "Do not forget that. While the king sits in the Red Keep, the others will do his dirty work, as will House Lannister." So Michael or Garrett can respond. I assume you're kind of all like sitting at this bench talking.
Yeah, at a table.
Yeah.
If you can go ahead.
I'm actually trying to think what to say. I mean, I'm
All right.
kind of a knight.
Garrett would spout off and say the Lannisters are quite weak at this time. This time is it? The Lord at this time, I can't remember his name.
Of House Lannister, I don't recall
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
But Garrett tries to convince him that way that Lannister is no problem, that Castamere is well equipped to handle the Lannisters.
Okay. Aaron kind of goes, you know, does the blowing of the lips, right? And he's like shakes his head and he's like, "They have more wealth than you combined in triple. They can buy sell swords. It doesn't matter what kind of size of forces they have right now or who their commanders are. They can bog you down in the mire for years if they wanted." So that didn't really help.
No, not at all.
Michael?
The state of the realm is in obvious chaos. In my opinion, best way to go about this is with a true leader, a pretender like who sits on the throne currently. He's a weak man who's letting his realm fall apart. Do you really want that to be the only thing that is between you and perhaps a Dothraki invasion someday? Who knows?
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're killing
We're just getting destroyed.
So Aaron, rolls his eyes at the Dothraki comment and just, shakes his head but doesn't say anything. Jerrod, how are you going to salvage this situation?
To me, I keep my mouth shut.
Oh golly. Lord Aaron, you know what my family wants. Because, quite frankly, it's transparent in our designs. Your family, at the end of the day, your family has a lot to gain from such a bold move. The Reynes might not be able to fight the Lannisters in a straight-up battle, or a war, even. But we're not alone. We have the support of the Blackfire. He is perhaps one of the greatest military men of our time. Now, I take you for someone who is fairly well read and well informed. Do you truly think betting against a true dragon is the best way for your house to continue on? Does that convince?
Yep. Sounds like it to me. Also, don't forget that you can use destiny points if you desire.
Yeah, I'll probably use one next round.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to if I don't want to have this entire conversation burn up around.
So 18, okay. So another 18. Any ones in there you can reroll or anything?
No,
Nope.
it's all three.
Nope. Okay.
How many destiny points do we get per game?
Depends on what your character sheet said you had. I marked them down. So basically, it's based on your age and how many benefits and flaws you have. Let's see.
I guess I mean I'd have one. Yeah. Or wait, no, 4 base destiny points.
Yeah, you have 4, and then, well, at 28, no, you don't have 4 base. You have, let's see.
I was just looking at my Excel sheet.
It says you have 4.
It says base destiny points 4.
You have 2. Okay, so let me. I can figure it out. So, you would start with 4, and then it looks like you should have 3, because you have one
Okay,
flaw.
3.
One flaw. Good.
No, I was maybe I'm reading this wrong because it says permitted benefits 3, required flaws 1, so remaining benefits.
Look at
1.
look at character sheet 1, not Karagen. That should tell you the correct amount that you have.
Shit.
So the second
saying I have 1.
Yeah, that's probably correct. You probably have 1.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just spend my destiny point, my 1 and a point to.
Okay. Remember, you get to once they're burnt for this, or not burnt, but once they're used for the session, you can no longer burn or use them again in this session. And then unless they're burnt, they refill. But it's up to you. We'll just let you make sure you know that. So.
No, the hell with it. I'll try my luck, though. I don't know if our thing's set high or low or what, but I'll just try normal persuasion without burning my 1 and only destiny point. Because I might need it to not die. My lord, we've seen what this realm has decayed to just for the short while that the current king sits on the throne. Blackfire actually has the power and the support. He just needs a little bit more and we'll be able to accomplish what we need. You seem like a man who knows when to bet on the right horse, and in this case, this is the one you want to bet on. Oh my god. 4 wouldn't have helped me anyways.
So Aaron just kind of looks over in your direction again and then kind of returns his eyes to the others, basically ignoring you.
It's probably for the best.
Garrett?
I'm thinking about spending another destiny point because this is getting rough. You said I could drop it by 2 for everyone.
You can drop
if
it.
I.
Yep, you can either do that or you can. Okay, so you can drop it for 2 for everyone, drop it for 4 for yourself, or give yourself a bonus die on one roll.
I'm gonna have to drop it to 2, 2 for everyone because the bonus die just doesn't seem that worth it.
Okay.
All right. Garrett
So
looks to Arian.
So make it convincing,
Okay.
right? Because you're using your bonus dice, so something special kind of happens to.
Oh, I'm not using my bonus die.
Or I'm sorry, I mean using your destiny point. Sorry.
Yeah. Garrett looks to Aaron, and he how can I word this? He sort of almost steps up out of his seat almost, but he just sort of like inches closer to the table, and he looks Arian in the eyes, and he says to him, "The weak, spineless man that sits the Iron Throne is not fit. Even if he has the backing of the 2 other knights you spoke of, Baylor and
Bloodraven.
Bloodraven, yeah. That should not sway your thoughts to the man himself."
Okay. So that's your DP that you spend, and go ahead and roll your persuasion as well. 11. So he nods and he's like, "I don't disagree with any of that, except Bloodraven. He could have spies in this castle right now." And he kind of bites his bottom lip slightly. Alright, this is your last round to do it.
Boy.
I'm sorry, I cannot use intimidate in this conversation.
No, that's fine.
Oops, I did not mean to roll that.
That's fine. Yeah, no. Sometimes you can't use the stats you want. Jerrod? Or you guys can let him go last. I don't know. It's you can do whatever order you want. If you think that would, if you
might
think
as
that
well
would
kind of finish it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I think it would probably make sense if he kind of closes the arguments. So if we muck it up, he might be able to pull it a little bit out of the fire.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking mechanically wise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would also be him, the Lord, speaking last before. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, go ahead, Michael.
I know that I may be just an unconvincing little hedge knight, but I've traveled all over Westeros, and I can tell you that the people know who should be running this great world, not currently sitting on the throne. This man will surely ruin us. Someone will take advantage of him. Let it at least be one who can rule and have the best interests of Westeros at heart.
Okay. So he finally kind of like gives you a nod instead of basically ignoring you like he has the entire conversation. He's like, I have heard the people say the same, but it won't matter if we're all dead and broken by the time it's over.
Just a question.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, did the Targaryens... I know they obviously have dragons, but are they the big ones like they know?
They don't have dragons right now.
They don't? Oh, okay.
No,
I thought for some reason they did.
The dance. They're
oh, right.
The dance, right? No, there's no dragons right now. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, you wouldn't be having this conversation if they had
No,
dragons.
yeah. Nobody would care.
Then it'd be basically who has the most nukes.
Yeah, whoever has the most dragons wins. What would Jerrod do?
If you join us, I will forage some berries for you.
Garrett, Garrett and he says much of what's been said before, but he I've got to try and strike a different chord. What would I do? Another question. What would Aegon actually gain? His house isn't directly connected to the Targaryens, is it?
It's not.
Okay.
So you really don't know. Your assumption is that the best thing that he could hope for is to become the Lord Paramount of the Riverlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Maybe he could gain the Hand of the King like title or anything like that.
Potentially. You don't really know what he's.
Yeah, what his aspirations are.
Yeah, that's what an awareness roll would have kind of got you guys.
Oh, okay.
And then mechanically it would give you the D, right? 1D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, this is not your guys' forte.
Yeah, no, we did not really make our characters to sit and yabber about things.
Now, if somebody pulls a knife.
Yeah, see, if there was a fight, we'd be fine. Garrett, reiterates the fact that the king that's sitting on the throne now is a spineless person. He also adds that new titles and new wealth would be distributed as the new king would see fit, and that it would also be quite beneficial for Aegon, whether he wants to reach for the or whether his aspirations intertwine with the king's wishes.
Okay. Give it a roll. Alright. So he nods and seems to agree, but he doesn't really say anything, and he looks to Jerrod to see what he is going to say.
It's really quite simple, Lord Weathers. If you are content with how you are now, then it might stay that way. But whether we whether this war ends up happening will certainly spell out death for many. There's no avoiding that. Not now. And even if we did, we have a whelp of a man sitting on the throne, which will lead to ruin regardless. You and others can choose to believe that it's just a few houses playing petty politics to get a foot up in the world. And for some, it might be that. But if we don't do something, this weak, pitiful excuse for a king will ruin us regardless. So I ask you now, stand with a person who will reward you with the lands and the titles you deserve, but also your half-brother, the one who truly deserves to sit on the throne. Charm or convince?
Sure.
Oh no, I was gonna use a. Never mind. I can re-roll 2 of them though.
Okay.
Rip.
Were you going to use
Still doing
convince or
better than I
something?
did.
I was gonna use a destiny point to.
So you can use a destiny point to give yourself a d6. Or you can't lower his disposition or his military defense again. But yeah, you can just roll d6 here and we'll add it. So we'll do that first.
Okay, so do I roll 3d6 or 2d6 and then?
You can roll the destiny point first.
Okay.
And we'll just see what that's going to look like. Because if it's a 1, you can re-roll that too. So
Wow.
it's a 2 that does you no good. So go ahead and roll your 2d6s. So those the 5 helps.
Yeah.
So essentially that gives you 17.
So he'll have 19, wouldn't he? Because he has the 15 plus 2 plus another 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other d6, is it just a d6 that you were going to be adding on, or
It's
would
a
it be?
It's a bonus die. So it's
okay.
it's like you had one more.
Yeah,
charm.
yeah.
So it's 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so let me figure out how many degrees of success that is. Math is hard. Okay, so okay, so yeah, yep. Okay, so Aaron like nods and he's like, I like you, Jerrod Reyne, but I don't think I can do this right now. Not here. I think that there's too much risk for us to join Blackfire. He doesn't have that much support. All the great houses are supporting the king. House Tully, House Lannister, House Stark, House Martell, House Aaron. And he kind of throws up his hands and he's like, how can we fight against that? And he stands up and looks at you all and he's like, I pray we do not see each other across the field. And he looks to his associates and nods. And they begin to walk out.
Uh-oh.
What do you guys do?
Quick, do the desperation move.
What could we do?
We could try convincing him how strong we are.
I wouldn't want to test that. Because I'm pretty sure that would violate the salt and bread, and we would probably be thrown in jail.
And not
Trial
not
by
if you
combat?
request it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that, I guess.
I don't think trial by combat, though, would necessarily fall
I-
into this purview.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be in
It's more
context
for
to do
defending
so.
your honor or proving your point.
I mean, we're kind of proving our point.
I think it's more. Yeah, I think it's more for like you're like faced with death kind of situation.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to take the bearded one.
Wait, actually attacking them? I don't think that's a smart idea.
Golly.
So as you're watching flabbergasted, they depart and they walk out the hallway and towards the exit. And Lord Rickard looks at you and he's like, "You fools! They're going to tell everyone about us now. We're going to be hung at the end of a noose before the fighting even starts." He's like, "You have to go after them once they're out of the keep and out of the land and attack them. Keep them from spreading word of this. Lou, go with them."
God. So I guess it wouldn't have been bad if we fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he wanted you to attack them in the...
In the keep,
True.
yeah, that would make him look bad also.
Yeah. So what's your reply to that?
Well, Jerrod's steaming a little bit because Lord Rickard didn't do shit in that.
He just sat there with his teeth in his mouth.
He's got one leg. What's he gonna do?
Waggle it up. I don't know. I mean, I would say that we should let it stay its course. I don't think Arian meant us any harm by leaving here this early. I think maybe setting up another meeting maybe would be beneficial, or maybe a different location, maybe somewhere a little less conspicuous.
No, he's as good as an enemy now.
Yeah.
Unless we can convince him on the road, there's nothing stopping him from informing.
Yeah, I guess we could do an intimidate, almost like, and then if it doesn't work, just go in.
Oh, yeah, because that worked so well for me last time.
I know, right?
Even though I rolled successfully.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we go after them immediately?
I would. I mean, if we don't, they would get out of the way. They would be far ahead of us. We may not catch them.
True. At Lord Rickard saying what he said to us, are they still like mounting up?
You don't know. You're in the Grand Hall talking, and as you're debating what to do, they are probably getting further and further away.
I'm gonna go after them.
Yeah.
Because this literally means we will lose.
Yeah, we need him, or we need him to not.
Yeah, to not talk.
I'm not even talking to him. I'm jogging down the hall.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you're all hustling after them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you exit the keep, you see them riding away on their horses. They're rounding the keep and heading towards these woods over here.
Okay.
Your horses are stabled right there as well, so you can mount up and follow them. Lou is on his horse quickly, and he probably the first thing he's ever said to you, he's like, "Let's go quickly before it's too late."
Yeah, I don't need much encouraging.
Yeah,
I think we'd all be quite quick.
Okay, so you
do I
dart
need
it.
to roll animal handling?
Not yet. So you
Oh,
run out
didn't mean to do
and
that.
you get on your horses and you're giving chase. So you see they have 6 men. They had 2 more men with them, or 3 more men with them that were outside.
Okay.
So there's 6 of them. They're all riding away, and you guys are chasing them. So I want you all to roll a animal handling. And Chris
All right.
did his, so nice.
I've got ride.
Oh no.
Wow, that's the best roll I've had all day.
Okay.
Good at words, not riding a horse.
So you guys, so Garrett and Michael outpace Jerrod as you are giving chase, and you're closing the distance, but they enter the woods, and you're trying to follow the trails that they're going on, and you lose sight of them as they turn in some spots and go around the road, and as it turns into the forest and curves around. So if you guys want to roll, let's do survival. Okay, each of you can roll survival.
Should I use survival track?
Yes, you can use survival track or awareness notice.
Okay. Which one? They're both the same, okay.
Oh my gosh. You break
What
your
a
leg.
great lord.
So basically they can't quite get away from you, and they turn into this clearing, and the 6 men turn their horses around, and 2 slide off their saddles immediately while the rest face you, and Sir Aaron looks at you and he's like, "Is this what it is, eh? You're going to try to kill me before I even leave. Now I know the real House Reyne."
It doesn't have to devolve into violence.
It doesn't. I just have to agree to
You
what
just
you
want-
say.
We just wanted to try to persuade you one last time. We did not speak correctly in that place. It was not the environment we wished. A decrepit castle with an even more decrepit man staring at us, providing no help at all. That's not how Blackfire presents himself.
So Lou, who is standing next to you as you say this, turns and he's like, kind of gives you the look, and and he looks back to Sir Aaron, and he's kind of like kicks his horse a little bit, and so the horse kind of like moves away from the reins for a moment. He doesn't say anything though, but you can tell on his face he did not like that comment.
Oh boy.
Wasn't that time we all died before we even got a chance?
It is kind of uncanny how they haven't said a damn thing. Let's see. How far away are they, like, generally speaking?
10, 15 feet.
Okay.
You're all on horses.
I personally haven't drawn steel.
Yeah, I don't think I would have drawn my bow. Garrett tries to follow the same thing as Michael. We don't want to fight you, Lord Aaron. We think it would be quite unwise and not very good nature as well. But You see, we can't have you running off, trying to... If you say anything about what was said here today, our heads are on the chopping block, and we can't have that.
Sir Aaron says, I won't be held from going back home. If it is your wish to arrest me, then we will draw blades, and we will see who follows the way of steel better, the Reynes or House Weathers.
My lord, 6 blades versus only 4?
Possibly 3.
He shrugs and he says, this is war, not a duel. You should have brought more men.
But what will this battle accomplish? Either we kill you, or you kill us. Nothing truly changes except that you will see that the Reynes don't need more men. Neither does Blackfire.
Aaron smiles and he's like, it would accomplish me not be thrown into a cell in Pinkmaiden. That's good enough for me. You let me go, we won't fight.
What if instead of throwing away all these so many lives unnecessarily, the best man I have with me against your best man?
He considers it and he says, and what would be the outcome? If I am proven the victor, I depart. And if you are defeated, he looks and he's like, Jerrod Reyne will come to me with me as my hostage. And if my man loses, I will come back to Pinkmaiden as a hostage, as will all my men.
My lord, you misunderstand. I don't want you as a hostage. I want you as a friend, an ally.
He looks at you sidelong and he's like, I become your friend because our men fight and mine dies? I don't think so. That makes no sense. He's like, this is the way. If you wish it not to be all-out bloodshed, then our 2 men will fight, and the winner shall take the hostages.
My lord, if I may old way, and there is honor in it.
Golly, do you think... Sir... I don't want you to have to go into this alone.
Well, if I fail, then I wasn't a very good knight now, was I?
Garrett, what do you think?
I feel like there'd be another way around this. What if Jerrod were to extend an offer to Aaron? Oh, is my mic keep cutting out?
I think it is, yeah.
That's really annoying. What if Jerrod were to extend an offer to Aaron instead of fighting for him to return to... Oh, you can't do that because he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't openly agree to come back to Castamere, even as a friend. I guess there's not a whole lot else to do.
Yeah, in my view, unless you guys come up with a different idea, right? It's either this, or you let him go, or it's all-out combat. That's really the only 3 choices I see.
Yeah.
I mean, now that's not... You can come up with some plan that's different, but...
I don't know. I don't know what Garrett would be able to muster up.
I mean, it really lands on me now, doesn't it? Though, I mean,
Yeah.
you two can join in a fight, but 6 against even 4 is not very good odds. Even if this guy's really good.
I mean, I could pot shot one of them, but I don't know. Even that would matter.
And I think that, out of character speaking, Michael wants this because it's part of a knight's duty to, fight on his lord's behalf.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerrod, just look at Sir Michael and say, if you believe you are up to the... I believe that you're up to the task, but if you believe you are as well, then I trust my life in your hands.
I believe I'm up to this task. After all, I plan on becoming the best swordsman there ever has seen. If I fail here today, well, oh well.
Today is as good a day as any to die, I suppose.
At least it'll be in my motherland.
Okay, so Sir Aaron looks at the large bald guy with the beard, and he's like, "Sir Hugh?" And Sir Hugh nods and steps forward and draws his blade and looks at Sir Michael, and he's like, "May the stranger accept you with open arms." Okay, this is not exactly what I had planned, so give me just a second here. As all great
I'm gonna buff up his
games.
stats.
No, I'm not buffing up his stats. I'm just setting his token. Just give me 2 seconds. I would not do that.
I just got really nervous. Sir Michael might have utmost confidence in him, but I've never played this guy. I mean, he is definitely a powerhouse.
Would there be anything
So
you could...
if I defeat him, huh?
No, go ahead.
This is a good thing. I saved my destiny point.
Yeah.
Would there be anything to gain from, I don't know, seeing if we know anything of Sir Hugh?
Sure, you can roll a status roll.
Oh,
Alright.
cool.
I'm not going to bother. I have 2 in status.
Just tell me, what did you guys roll?
14.
And a 9.
So, give me a couple seconds. I gotta figure.
You're fine, go ahead.
I gotta figure out how that actually works, because I don't think I've ever had somebody do that before. Amazingly enough. Status roll.
So if I defeat him, do I add his beard onto my own and become that much more of a knight?
Your beard grows.
Every time you kill someone.
Yeah, I'll just say, you have heard of Sir Hugh. Sir Hugh is the Master of Arms at Oldstone. He's been there his entire life. He was never a tournament knight, so you don't really know of any of his exploits other than he's the Master at Arms there. He's teaching people how to fight. So you assume that he has some sort of abilities, right? But yeah, there's not really
All right.
much to say. All right. So what we're gonna do, since we don't need a tactical combat map really, we can just eyeball it from here. Let's roll initiative. Michael and Hugh.
Oh, crap.
So that's agility, quickness.
Oh, wow. Whoa, wait.
Yeah. I'm basing myself off of Braun.
Nice.
So
As far as fighting style.
yeah, so you're definitely quicker. He has his shield, he has his longsword ready, and you have yours. And so you face off, and you're kind of walking around in a circle, and he's got his shield up ready. And what do you do?
I'm gonna, before I actually fight, just be like,
Yep.
kind of give him a nod in respect of a fellow knight, and it's like, may you have luck in yours. And I'm going to roll fighting, right?
Yep, fighting, and just roll your sword has a roll next to it. If you click that button, it'll
Okay.
automatically roll it with the correct bonus die. It should, at least. 15. Okay, so it rolled 5 dice, and that seems too many. What's your fighting?
My fighting is 4. With longsword 2.
Oh, okay, so that's right, yeah. You have you're attacking with a bastard sword, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's correct. So 15 versus his combat defense, which is 9. So that's 2 degrees of success.
A
And your damage is what?
4 on the bastard sword.
Okay. So you swing down onto him, and he's not able to move in time, and you slice him across the leg. Okay. Whoops, did the wrong one. 1 second. Ah! Why is this not doing what I'm telling it to do? Hold on. Sorry, guys.
You're okay.
well done, Sir Michael.
Well, let's out of character. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks off right away.
I just don't want to be a hostage.
What? You be a hostage, I die.
Yes,
I just get to sit here and watch.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do this manually because the bar is not working. Whatever.
All right.
So, all right. So he did take a well, he didn't take any wounds, but he was hurt. So Sir Hugh kind of staggers after the attack, and then immediately spins and swings his sword towards the back of your legs. And so he's gonna roll. So what's your combat defense?
14.
So he is going to use Blood of the Andals to re-roll. Yeah. Yep, he's going to use Blood of the Andals to re-roll
The whole thing?
the whole thing.
Damn. That's a nice perk.
Unless that's not what Blood of the... I'm pretty sure that's what Blood of the Andals does, yeah.
I thought it's just 1 dice roll, but I could be wrong.
Whenever you test this die, you may
select one
re-roll a
ability
single die.
if-
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Re-roll a single die. So he's going to re-roll one of his ones.
Yeah, so all he has to do is not get a 1 to beat me.
Oh.
Or me.
So
No, he stays this.
that didn't help. So you basically drop your shield and deflect it.
So, my turn?
Yep.
And I'm going to go for another, just thematically, I'm going for another slice this time. I'm going to go kind of for trying to disable a shield arm.
So before we continue, and I totally didn't think about this either. So there are different maneuvers you can do. So you might as well always do an aim. Okay. So the way combat works, is essentially you have 2 actions per combat, and some of them are called lesser actions, some of them are called greater. Greater takes your whole turn, lesser takes either or, right? And so you can take 2 lesser actions, but you can never take the same action. It would behoove you, and it'll behoove Hugh next time, is to aim. And aim is a lesser action, and attack is a lesser action. So if you aim, and you'll have to roll this, you'll have to type this in manually, but it gives you an extra bonus die. So basically, instead of you would roll, right now you're rolling 5d6, keep 4, so you would roll 6d6, keep 4 instead. So you can go ahead and do that now if you want.
So how do I roll that?
So you here, I'll just I'm gonna do this in quotations, but you leave out the quotations, obviously, like that. The sheet isn't built to support it, so okay, so 17. It's 2 degrees of success. So you hit him, and you how did you attack? Describe your attack and all.
Well, I go for an attack meant to kind of make his shield arm useless as much as possible, trying to lower his defenses essentially.
So you cut down onto his shield arm, and that makes his kind of shield drop momentarily, and as you do, you slice across his left bicep, and as you do, he immediately just stabs forward while stepping in and towards you. So oh my god, this guy's rolling.
Oh, wow.
Okay, your defense was what?
14.
Okay, so you deflect it with your shield again. The warrior is with you so far.
Yeah.
So would speak. I mean, he's not going to tell anybody this, but he follows the red god. But, it's all the same.
God.
And he's going to go for another swing. Again, this time he's going to be more of trying to cause as many small wounds as possible to kind of have it all kind of come towards the end kind of thing, if it makes sense.
Okay. So you could just up air and hit enter, yeah. So that's so once again, you cut him, and Sir Aaron's not looking so pleased in the background, and he's like, Sir Hugh! And Sir Hugh steps forward and does a maneuver. What's he going to do? 1 second. So this is chapter 9, if you want to look at it. I'm not going to do anything that's too, crazy.
Yeah.
But just because this is like a beginner game, right? So... So, in his anger, he charges towards you and basically rushes towards Michael, and with a violent overhead chop swings. So, let's see. So that's going to be 8d6, keep 3. And he's going to use his other Blood Andals part, which is +2 to 1 roll per day.
Uh-oh.
So 18, and you're 14, so that's 1 degree of success, though. So 1 degree of success, and his damage is +2 from the charge. So he hits you for 8 damage. What's your armor? What is it? I can look too. Breastplate. So you take 3 damage.
Yeah. Whew. Just trying to figure out where I'm putting it.
Yeah, I mean, you can just write it down. I have been, because I don't know what's wrong with his bar is not working for some reason.
Oh, that's right. I got bars. I can just keep track of my health.
Yeah, unless it doesn't work like mine for unknown reasons. It's like, okay, wrong way.
Yeah, that's working for me.
Okay, cool. There we go.
So I'm going to accept the blow in return to, while he's, he'll get that overhead shot, but I'm going to use it to plunge my sword into his belly.
Okay.
I'm going to use my Blood of the Andals to reroll that one.
Mm-hmm.
So that make it a 15.
You're keeping 4 dice, right?
Yeah, he is.
So it's 16.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is hold on. Another 2 degrees of success. So you just keep your sword just keeps slicing into his armor, and some of it's getting through and some of it's not. So he kind of staggers under the last blow, and he kind of comes in and kind of tries to hit your shield with his shield and then stab around towards your stomach. So 96
Oh.
Whew.
So your defense was 14, right?
Yeah.
2 degrees of success. So his damage is you would take 12 total damage minus what's your sorry.
Breastplate.
It's breastplate. So yeah, that's a big one. So you take 7 damage. Now, so you can take injuries and wounds at any time. I suggest only taking them when they get you close to 0. Like, how many will you have left after this?
2.
So I would go ahead and take an injury, maybe. I mean, it's up to you. Basically, injuries give you -1 to every roll. Wounds give you -1d. Wounds take every single damage you take is washed away. Injuries subtracted by your endurance. So he hit you for 7.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How is he able to roll the 9d6? Is that something I can do?
No, because he has 4 long blades.
Oh.
Holy crap.
So he has so his just so you know, he has 4 specialty dice and longswords and 4 fighting. So that's 8d6 right there. Plus he aimed, so that's a bonus die. So that's 9d6. Keep 4.
Also, I figured out how to use the 8 bars. If you ever want to know.
I figured. I think I figured it out, but.
So I could take an injury instead of losing the 7 hit points, you said?
If you took an injury, you would lose 3 instead of 7. If you took a wound, you would lose none, but you would keep 1 less dice every time.
No, it's not worth it. And injuries can be taken care of?
Both can be taken care of eventually. Injuries will give you -1 to every roll, but just 1.
I'd rather just take the injury on this one.
Yeah, probably. So take the injury and then take away the 3 damage.
Yeah. And is he looking like I could finish him off at any moment, or does he look like he's got a ways to go?
Well, I mean, you can see his bar, so there's that.
I actually can't.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
can't?
can't either.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me make that. Yeah, I see that. Now.
Okay,
Yep.
there we go. All right. Well, I'm gonna go swing again at him.
Can you do a reckless attack?
There is a reckless attack, yeah. But remember, he can take injuries and wounds as well. He's he's a named character, not a.
True.
Yeah. So I'm gonna swing again.
Now, here's the thing, right? Because you didn't do this last time. Don't use your sword button. Use the manual roll. So do your roll 6.
Yeah, I did it this time.
Yeah, 6d6 keep 4 or whatever.
Oh my god. And I can't use my Blood of the Andals again. Oh wait, I can. Didn't you say there's a second ability to it?
Yeah, there's a +2 to any roll. Plus, I don't think you rolled enough die. Hold on. So
Yeah, I think you're missing a die.
yeah, you're missing a die because your normal roll is 5d6 keep 4. Okay. When you aim, you'll be rolling 6d6 keep 4.
Oh, okay.
So first things first, roll 1d6 because you're gonna get that. So yep, so that's better than your 2. So that's 14 right there, and then you can do a +2 on that if you want.
Would that change his success at all?
So let's you know that, well, just so to help you guys. So his combat defense is 9.
Okay.
You rolled a 14. That's 5. So that's 2 degrees of success. So if you added 2 on, it would not help.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just keep what I have.
So he takes 2 more. So dying of 1,000 cuts here. All right. So but you take a -1 to that. So for your injury.
13.
So it'd be 13. So now actually if you want to do 2 degrees of success, you do have to use your Andals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll use my Andals to bump it up.
So you did. Okay. So you strike him, and he's kind of wavering, and he does a kind of a half spinning attack towards trying to get around your shield towards your back. All right. So he's going to roll again. 22. Versus 14.
I have to just take another injury.
So that's let's see. So that how many degrees of success is that? Let's see. You're 14.
If I spend a
right?
destiny point against him, can it lower one of those 6s?
If you use a destiny point against someone, he would, I believe, keep 1 less die. So that's how it works. So if you use a destiny point, you can have him keep 1 less die, so he would actually roll a 17 instead.
Which is a lot better.
That still would beat my armor by.
He would get 1 degree
I could
of success.
probably.
Yeah, he would get 1 degree instead of 2.
And your armor is a 5, and he hits for 6, so he'd hit you for 1 damage. If you do
So you'd
that.
take a lot less damage if you did that.
Alright, well, I'll spend my one and only destiny point then.
Okay, so you take 1 damage.
Alright, well, I'm going to go at it again. Well, this time I'm going to roll it right.
Yep, so 66, keep 4. There you go.
Then -1, so it's 21.
21 versus 9. So that's 12. That's 3 degrees of success. What's your damage?
4 on my blade.
4, so 12. So he would take 6. So he is going to... Let me see, what's he going to do? He's going to take a wound. So he takes a wound.
Is that minus a die?
1 die.
Okay.
So he stumbles under your attack, and he's bleeding badly. And he kind of makes a desperation attack here. Let's see.
I'm going to get ganked.
I think you'll be okay.
I'm down to 5 hit points.
You got your injuries and your wounds, so...
Yes, but I think he is worse off. No, don't ask me to back that up with evidence, but, I think maybe the duel was definitely the right choice, because if his companions fight not nearly as well as he does...
It would have just still been me ended up fighting him, and then I would be getting plunked by archers as well.
Yeah.
He's
So,
doing he's doing a reckless attack, so his combat defense will be -5 next turn.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
1 degree of
Oof.
success.
Oh.
1 degree of success, so that is just, I think it's 1 damage.
1 damage, yeah.
Alright, well, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, as I'm swinging, I'm just going to say, it wasn't worth it.
So...
And his defense is -4.
No, I said -5.
Yeah, so it's 4.
5.
So it would be 3 degrees of success. So that's... he is going to take another wound. So you're basically chopping him to
How
bits
many
now.
can he take?
He can take 1 more. He can take 1 less than his endurance. But so he turns and does another reckless attack.
It's 2 less die. Oh, wow.
He meets my
1
AC this time.
1 degree of success again. You take 1 damage.
Isn't his your combat defense 14 though?
It is. But I think meets and is also considered as beat, isn't it?
Yes, meat is 1 degree of success.
Oh, okay.
And he also loses another
Yeah, he's still
points
down.
of defense, right?
Yeah, it's not cumulative, but it's just for 1 round he loses it. But yeah, so he's what he was last turn.
Ah, son of a bitch. Of course, I still beat him.
So that's 2 degrees of success. So that's 2 damage. He takes an injury, and that negates that. So, and he just keeps fighting like his life is on the line.
Because it is.
1 damage. Oh wait.
Can I take an energy?
Hold on 1 second. You have -1 to your rolls, so that last one was actually a 10.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if it doesn't matter, but yeah, okay. I was just making sure. So you could take an injury if you wanted, yeah. Or
So
you
I'm
just
going to
take
keep
the
my
1
HP
damage.
then.
Okay, so you're at -2 every roll now.
Or no, yeah, I'm going to. I need to finish this guy off. I'll take the. I'll just be down to 3. Yeah, I'll take that.
So, so he does not take the wound, and you basically. So one thing in the system of A Song of Ice and Fire, unless your weapon is vicious, you can determine if the defeated is killed or wounded. Not wounded, I guess, killed or just knocked unconscious, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's up to you. So you go ahead and describe what happens to the guy. He is defeated.
Well, was he obviously trying to kill me, or was he just trying to defeat me?
I mean, he was fighting with the same vigor that you were. I mean, if he killed you, it would have been completely honorable or whatever in this situation, but there's no way to know.
Honestly, I'm going to kill him.
Okay, describe how it happens.
I'm going to assume that I've, chopped off little chunks of him, and I imagine he's just kind of on all fours, bleeding on the ground, and I just kind of solemnly take my sword in a double-handed overhand and just chop down, slicing his head off.
Okay, so as he's laying prostrate on the ground, you swing your sword down and take him by the back of the neck, and his head comes mostly off, and it's hanging by some tendons and skin, but it's kind of flopped over on the side as his body convulses on the ground for a few moments before the pool of blood surrounds his body that finally stops moving. So what are your
kind of clean my blade off. Oh, go ahead.
No, what do your compatriots say and do?
Such an unfortunate loss of life. I believe we had an agreement, Lord Aaron.
Aaron frowns and looks at Graham, who sits next to him, and the other men, and he contemplates what to do. And I'm gonna roll because what would that be?
I got nice little cuts all over me, so he could finish me off fairly quickly if he so chose to.
Hopefully we don't have to fight more.
So Aaron considers what he's going to do, and he nods, and he's like, that we did. And he looks at the dead body, and he's like, I would ask that he is given a proper burial.
And I'll kind of I'll sling myself off my horse and say I was just about to offer him one. Sir Michael, you deserve a rest. Garrett, would you help me with this?
Garrett comes to help him out.
No, this is my responsibility. He was an honorable knight. I will bury him myself.
As you wish, sir.
And Graham, finally speaks up, the man next to Sir Aaron, and he's like, do you have a sept or a graveyard? Bury him there, not out in the woods. And Lou nods, and he's like, I can send a cart for him. And then you can bury him there, knight. Talking to Michael.
I just nod to him. Very well.
Alright, so you are you going to take all these guys' weapons, let them have them? What are you going to do?
I mean, if they come willingly, I don't see why we wouldn't just leave the weapons with them for now.
I would take the weapons from everyone except for Lord Aaron.
Makes sense.
Okay. So you grab all the weapons and you like need a bigger sack, obviously. But no, you do your best. You take them and put them off, like hang them off your horse and stuff like that. And so you head back towards the castle, and you round back inside, and you see that Lord Rickard is near the gate looking. He's basically got a pair of crutches, and he looks in as you arrive, and he's like, "Thank the Seven."
Yeah. Does he have a dungeon or?
He probably has somewhere to put these guys. Lou nods, and he's like, "I know where to put them."
Except for Sir Aaron. Aaron, I mean, not Sir Aaron. Aaron is a noble, so we'll find him accommodations more fitting to his station.
Lou nods. And he does so. He takes Aaron inside, and as he's taking Aaron in, he looks over his shoulder, and he's like, "This won't help your cause. I'm nobody but a bastard." And he looks away and marches inside. And as he does, Lord Rickard seems very pleased. He's like, "You did it. I knew putting my faith in House Reyne was a good idea." And as he marches inside, the screen fades to black. And that's it.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I think I aged a year, but you know. I mean,